Hey everyone, this is Quake Man. This is a video that I want to talk about to kind of just speak my mind because the last few days I've streamed long hours of Quake Champions. I've streamed one time for like 6 hours, another time for like 7. So I've been streaming a lot of Quake Champions lately, mostly just because I've been having fun and I've been trying to stream often with the free time I've been getting from other stuff. But this video is not a criticism, not a speculation, not a, well, kind of a speculation talk, but not a update talk, nothing like that in relation to Quake Champions. It's more so a personal gathering of thoughts of what I kind of would like to see, as well as some ideas to throw out there that would be quite interesting, in my personal opinion, to see for Quake Champions. Um, Granted, a lot of this I don't know how to say this correctly because these are just coming to the top of my head, not because I have the right ideas for it. Um, but I was thinking about some stuff ever since Death Knight came out, which I want to point out. Yes, I know it was a dent to my name as Quake Man, the fact that I did not catch the fact that Death Knight is the same as the Death Knight enemy in Quake 1. I admit that fully. I wasn't thinking about it. It was 2 in the morning and I made the video very quickly, so there was that sort of situation. But after they released Death Knight, I started thinking about what other kind of characters could they release in relation to this, since that they kind of been branching out from Doom to Quake to Wolfenstein, and they kind of been mostly focusing on Quake, because Keel was a Quake skin from Quake 3 Arena. Uh, Death Knight was an enemy from Quake 1. You know, Strogg is Quake 2, Quake 4-ish, because it's Strogg. Things like that. And I started thinking about all the other stuff they could possibly put in the game. However, the problem is I don't know exactly what their abilities or passive would be, because in my personal opinion, the only thing I'm downsided with Death Knight is I don't like the fact that none of his passives help with movement. That was one of the things that I gave good praises to the beginning characters, was that a lot of their passives related to movement, and that's the important factor of an arena shooter system, is movement. How do you get around? And when I saw Death Knight's passive was just basically can survive fire damage, which is only a map world thing, and other Death Knights, and it was cool to see the passive that added fire to the melee system of the Gauntlet. That is the first time we've seen that for a champion at the moment. But it just made me kind of wish they could have done something for movement. I get that it's very hard to think of any other movement passives besides what's already been out there. But I don't know, it was the only personal thing I had, because I always feel like they should have a passive that relates to some form of movement, or using movement as a way of attack, similar to like what Scarebearer does. But that's that. So I started thinking about, if they were to pull a bunch of characters from Quake 3 Arena, which characters could they pull from? Now, personally, the only ones that I would want to see mostly in Quake Champions is Zero, Uriel, and mostly Klesk. I really like Klesk as a skin, and I would love to see those characters in. There's also people like Tank Jr. they could possibly put in. But then there's a bunch of human characters, and I'm not sure what they all could do, especially since majority of the human characters were kind of reskins of each other. Like Angel and Lucy were the same skin, the same body shape, just different textures on them. A Bitterman and I think Patriot were pretty much the same. Grunt and Stripe are pretty much the same. Cadaver and Hossman I think are pretty much the same. And then you have Damien, who I think was just itself. So you had all these different human characters that I'm not sure what kind of a skill they would have in particular. I mean, there are some story backgrounds to some of these characters, just a little bit. But it's, it's just something interesting to me. Now, I do know that Grunt and Bitterman are kind of related to Quake 2's property, so they could bring in a Quake 2 character. But in terms of what their skill could be, I don't know just off the top of my head. And then during my live stream, I had a few people bring up the idea, well, what about the cyber demon or the imp? And sure, but I'm too worried that if they put imp in the game, I'm too worried that that would be too similar to Death Knight with his flame ability. And also, I don't want to see an imp in the game because I'd rather see Klesk, and curious what Klesk can do. But then the Cyber Demon, I'm just like, yeah, they could do the Cyber Demon. Obviously, they wouldn't make him super tall like they are in the Doom games. But then I'm just worried that his abilities is basically just a 3-shot rocket launcher with no other bearings to it. So, I mean, the developers could do something impressive with it, and it doesn't just have to be the rocket launcher, but there could be something special. But then again, you have something like Uriel. You have Zero. You have Orb. You have Klesk. You have all these different characters in the game that they could have some ideas in relation to it. And it's hard to say. I've also thought about the Quake 2's Gunner, the Grenadier Strogg, because he has a grenade launcher. But then I was like, you know what? No, that worries me because that'll probably be way too similar to Keel, because Keel has the whole grenade launcher system. And then I started trying to think about, what about Wolfenstein? Well, again, I'm trying to avoid the human characters because it's really hard to do too much uniqueness with human characters a whole lot. Because the only human characters in the game is, I mean, I don't even know if you want to call Doom Guy a human character per se, because he's something. Ranger is kind of like a human character, and he has the slip gate, and BJ is like a human character who has the dual wielding. But it's like, what can you do to human characters that can add to the table? Because I always feel like they should balance their abilities based around, like, obviously the free-for-all team deathmatch systems, but also since they're introducing CTF, they should also think about the balances of the tactical intervention that these guys can bring. Like, BJ Blazkowicz could mostly be a defender, the ones who defends the CTF sites, because his passive regenerates health up to each tick if you don't take damage, and then he has the dual wielding for more damage punching, but he doesn't really have anything related to escapes. He doesn't have anything related to speed per se, so he might be good for defending. Clutch could be good for defending, but also has the laser and the shield, which is good for defending flag carriers. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with some of these abilities. Galena's a good idea with her kind of proxy mine system. Slash is good for denying entry and being careful, because if it explodes on you, you're dead type of deal. Sorlag as well. Death Knight. So it's kind of trying to figure out that balance between the abilities feeling with the character on top of everything else. But I would love to see Klesk. I would love to see Euro. I'd love to see Zero. I would love to see Orb. Those definitely are what I would love to see. And maybe they could do Grunt or Bitterman, since that related to Quake 2. But that's that discussion about what more champions could they release over time. Again, I don't know. I don't know what kind of abilities they would have or passives, and the developers probably are going to have a better idea than I can. But I'm just throwing out there from the skins than things like that I've enjoyed from the Quake 3 days. And then the other type of discussion topic, thought that has gone through my mind is that since I discovered the skins in this game, I didn't realize the skins were more than that. They weren't just like, oh, they look like this. They also can have sound effects like it. They have the same sound effects as they did in the game. The Quake 3 launcher sounds like the Quake 3 launcher sound effects when you shoot it. The lightning gun from Quake 1 sounds like the lightning gun from Quake 1. The railgun sounds like the Quake 2 and Quake 3 railgun, as well as the Quake 4 railgun sounds like from that. So I didn't realize that these skins did that. I thought they were just outlook skins and nothing more. So then it made me think about, okay, so what's already released? So they have, for the melee, they have the Quake 3 and the Quake 4 Gauntlet. For the for the starting machine gun, they have nothing. I've thought about for that they could either do the Quake 4 machine gun, or the Quake 2 machine gun, or the heavy rifle from New Doom 2016, or the machine gun from Doom 3, or maybe even a machine gun from like uh, heck, they could do the freaking the MP40 from like Return Castle Wolfenstein or something, or the machine gun from Wolfenstein 3D, something like that. For the starting shotgun, they don't have anything for that either. And what they could do is they could possibly release like a Doom 1 shotgun, or the Doom 3 shotgun, or the Doom 2016 shotgun. I've never played New Order yet, sadly, so I don't know if that has a pump shotgun or is just the double barrel. Quake. Oh, they could do the pump shotgun from Quake 2. There's that as well. And then for the starting nail gun, they only have the Quake 1 nail gun. Oh, something they could do. I'm not sure if it will change it will change the outlook of the weapon. But there was the nail gun shotgun type weapon in Quake 3 Team Arena, and they could probably use that as a skin for the pickup double barrel shotgun in the game. But I almost feel like people would get too worried it would be way too similar to the nail guns anyways or something. I don't know. That's something I thought about. But for the nail gun, I'm not sure what they could add skin wise for that would fit in Quake Champions using the properties of Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake. The Hyper Blaster won't work because it's more of a plasma gun. Well, actually, no, they could do the Hyper Blaster from Quake 2, because if they can do the plasma gun from Quake 3 Arena as a skin for the super nail gun, they could definitely do the Hyper Blaster from Quake 2 for the standard nail gun. That would be pretty interesting to do. So those are for the starting stuff that you start with. And then for the pickup machine gun, the heavy machine gun, they could do the chain gun from Doom 2016. They could do the not machine gun, the chain gun. They could do the chain gun from Doom 3. They could do the chain gun from Quake 2. Things like that. The double barrel shotgun, again, they could do the double barrel from Doom 3, although that could be too similar in some cases. I don't, the more I think about it, the more I realize I don't think there's a shotgun in Return Castle Wolfenstein at all. If there is, I must be really dumb about thinking about it. Whatever. But I can't think of much else for the double barrel shotgun. And then for the super nail gun, they pretty much have all the skins that I think is pretty cool. The plasma gun, the super nail gun from Quake 1, the nail gun from Quake 4. Those are the best ones I can come up with. I would love, there could be the rocket launcher from Doom 3 or Doom 2016 as a skin for the standard rocket launcher. Maybe this sounds really stupid. Maybe they could like have a Mauser for the railgun, although that would just be weird. But they could do something like that in relation to Wolfenstein. Lightning gun, all they have is like the Quake 1 lightning gun, the Quake 4 lightning gun. Oh, they could do Quake 3's lightning gun. I still like that design, even though some people find it weird. I think that's all I can really think of at the top of my head. But just things I was thinking about that, maybe it's software and Bethesda team have already working on concepts for most of these ideas I'm talking about. But it's just things that come to mind and just ideas I've thinking about. because I like how Quake Champions is, like I said. Besides the monetization issues and a bunch of other crap that I know it's really hard to figure out how to make it worthwhile to spend money, but I don't like that. The whole the whole issue um, with the lightning gun, I know some people tell me that they're just going to tell me like I should just get better at the game, whatever, stop whining. But honestly, I can't help but say this that I personally think the lightning gun needs to be nerfed. The pushback is bullshit. It's I remember it never existing in the original Quake. I don't remember it ever existing in Quake 3 Arena. I remember they added it when it came to Quake Live. And so, other than that, that needs to be fixed. I think Visor needs to be changed a little bit. I don't like the fact that he can see through walls without restriction and still shoot without restriction. I think that the moment you shoot your gun or something, maybe you will lose it, or maybe it's more of a pulse than it is a full-blown can see through walls type of thing. That's just me. I don't like the fact that Nyx can go invisible and you can't pinpoint where she could be, because then it's unfair to just respawn dead because have them just immediately come out and kill you because you can't expect it. That I find bothersome. Um, Other than that, I think that that's pretty much it. I still think Quake Champions is a solid game. I still think it has great potential that I am trying to full blown put my time and effort into this. It's why I'm trying to make videos often. It's why I'm trying to stream often. I'm trying to show this often. Um, and I really like, if you want to try and get into an arena shooter, this is a good way to start. I know it's not the real arena shooter experience, experience because of the abilities and the different health and values, but I honestly really like how this game is going, and I want to see this get bigger. I want this to have a lot of active players and a lot of active people. You know, I'm I'm just doing the best I can, because I know my channel is nothing, and I know this is a weird thing to say that in this video, but yeah. But I'm gonna be done. That's all my speculations, things I wish, things I'm looking into. Oh, I'm an idiot. Crash. I forgot to mention Crash. Crash is another person they should add on there. And as one of my sister basically said, that maybe what they should do with Crash is have her ability be something related to team play, maybe giving a boost as long as you stay near her, something to encourage team play, since Crash's story is she was the trainer for Doom Guy, or at least in Doom 1, not 2016 story. So maybe they could put Crash in the game. That would be pretty cool. I keep doing that for some reason. I think I'm about to finish, and then I'm like, wait, there's one more thing. But I think I'm done now. So, thank you so much for watching. I really hope anyone watching this, plans to pick up Quake Champions and try to join this community and try to make this game better than it ever should be. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and take care.